Hey everyone, welcome to another video of DeFi Weekly. Today we're going to be talking about how Compound's liquidity mining scheme works. So first up will be what is liquidity mining. Second will be how does liquidity mining work in Compound's case specifically. And then what you can get out of being a liquidity miner, as it's kind of termed. So let's get into it. So liquidity mining. The whole concept around this is that you provide funds or assets to Compound. So if we imagine Compound being a bank over here, right? And you need lenders, and then you have over here borrowers. Okay, if you have more lenders, then there's more money for borrowers, and it also makes it cheaper to borrow. And if it becomes cheaper to borrow, you will then get more borrowers who will essentially borrow more, and they generate interest because they have to pay back money for lenders, right? So as we can see here, anything which incentivizes this side or this side of the equation will make Compound more valuable as a protocol because it now will contain more assets. So the whole idea around liquidity mining is that you essentially incentivize one or both of these sides of the equations. So you say you can essentially earn tokens for lending or borrowing, right? And the tokens that you earn are essentially going to be comp tokens in this case. We'll get more into what comp tokens actually give you in point number 3, but this is essentially the idea around liquidity mining, and also I guess how it works in Compound's case, right? So Compound's a lending and borrowing protocol, and it incentivizes increasing the amount of funds in the protocol. Now, in terms of what you can actually get out of it, so you get this comp token, and the thing around the Compound token right now is that it gives you governance over the protocol, meaning you can vote on how the protocol should be upgraded, managed, or be run in the future. It's literally similar. It's literally like equity. So if we think about traditional equity or stocks in like a public company, there's kind of two main components, right? You've got dividends and you've got voting/control. So right now, comp gives you voting/control over the protocol. In terms of dividends, you actually need cash flows in order for this to occur. But the thing is that the next step, most likely, which will come from Compound, is the fact that because you have voting/control, you can then vote in to add dividends from essentially this whole process over here. So for example, maybe 10% of lenders' earnings go to token holders, and then maybe the difference between lending and borrowing rates, say 10%, go also back to the protocol. And as a result, this protocol, which keeps now accruing money, will then get distributed back to essentially comp holders. So the question is that why is Compound giving away tokens for free like this? And kind of like the simple answer is that you actually get to earn their native token, which in turn can give you cash flows and also control. And this token right now, I think, is fluctuating anywhere between $50 to $100. So that's kind of like another neat incentive. And I guess you're not thinking like, cool, this is great, so how can I kind of earn or get involved with the scheme? And it's literally as simple as do you have any assets you can lend or any that you'd like to borrow? So if you want to lend, the best assets to lend are essentially stable coins. So anything such as USDC, USDT, or DAI. Actually, this is kind of the best performing asset right now, USDT, also known as Tether. Or you want to borrow, I think, stable coins once again, right? So same as kind of above. Unfortunately, ETH, if you lend it or borrow it on Compound, it doesn't actually give you that great of returns. But if you do have a lot of ETH, what you can do is you can use your Ethereum to borrow stable coins, right? So this means that you're kind of taking a loan from Compound, using it for its intended use case, but because you're borrowing stable coins, you can actually earn a lot more Compound tokens, because currently borrowing USDT or lending it is a very favorable thing in the protocol. So in case you have Ethereum and you don't mind taking on the risk of borrowing stablecoins, that's an effective way. Or if you have stablecoins, I'd recommend to just lend stablecoins directly to Compound. The one kind of neat thing you can do, and this is for more advanced users, is that you say lend USDC, and then because you've got USDC, you borrow USDT against your USDC. So if I have $100 worth of USDC, Compound will actually let me borrow $75 worth of USDT. What's really fascinating about this is that this USDT you can then use to buy more USDC and rinse and repeat. So it gives you multiples of what you actually have. Although there's risk with this and you want to do your own research, but it's just another option available in the bag. So hopefully that answers all the questions you have. So what is liquidity mining? How does it work in Compound's case? And what can you get out of it? With all these things, there's smart contract risk, and you want to do as much research as you can. But I think a big factor to know is that Compound has been live for, I think, about like 1 to 2 years with no issues whatsoever. They're backed by a great team and founders and investors. So you can be fairly certain that your money isn't going to go to complete zero. But of course, nobody actually knows, because that's just risk, I guess. So anyway, hopefully you guys found that useful, and let me know what you think below in the comments. Thanks.